Broadcasting from the Fence One Studios, voted #1 contractor in North Alabama. 94.1 WHRP, Gurley, Huntsville, Decatur, a Cumulus media station.
Tony, yeah! Tony, in the morning. Tony, in the morning. Waking up your world. Tony, in the morning. Tony, in the morning.
94.1 WHRP.
Tennessee Valley. It is snowing and cold outside. And do you know the best way, absolute best way to drive in the snow? Right? Hear me out. Hear me all the way out. The absolute best way to drive in the snow is to stay at home. If you don't have to get on these roads, please don't. I was driving on 565 with my hazards on. I was going like a smooth 45. And you 18-wheelers out there, I don't know how y'all do it. I do not, because y'all were blowing past me like I was standing still, and I'm scared to hit black ice or a pocket out there. I'm just driving around nervous, just nervous. So it is right now 29 degrees cold outside. 29 degrees cold, and what's hitting the ground is slush. So when it hits, it's more likely to go ahead and turn into ice because it's not going to get above freezing until, 11 a.m. is saying right now? So if you have a choice, stay at home. If you don't have a choice, put a good prayer up in the air before you hit that road. Please stay safe out there, Tennessee Valley. If you don't have to go, don't go. All right, we got Black History Facts coming up. And we also got Tony's Tattletales right here on 94.1 WHRP.
It's your best girlfriend, Tony Terrell, and you can stream us live every single day at WHRPFM.com. Check in now and catch up with Tony in the morning, weekdays from 6 to 10 at WHRPFM.com. Just click the purple button.
Live.
94.1 WHRP.
And let me tell you, looks like a lot of people have stayed home. Mm-hmm. But here's the problem with that. For those that have to drive, the road is freezing up because there's not much activity on the pavement.
Yeah, that's true.
It's starting to freeze in pockets of when you're traveling, especially if you're like on University Drive, Highway 72, County Line Road, the Parkway, anything that's a high elevated area. Some of the bridges that have the little creek water running through. Once you approach those spots, if you're driving, get up off the gas. Just coast through that space because you're going to see it's a little more snow and there's ice underneath it. So things like that, if you feel your tires giving, get up off the gas.
Get up off it.
Okay. Because we're seeing reports where, it stopped snowing. It's just sticking on grass. No, it isn't.
It's not.
It's sticking on the ground, and the temperature is very cold, and it's going to continue to drop like you mentioned just a few minutes ago. So we have a lot of schools that are closed, some that are delayed, some are using virtual learning. So we want you to make sure you check in with your kids and tell them to get up. It's time to go to school some kind of way, So, make sure you're checking in on that. By now, all the parents should know.
They should know, but just in case they don't, we got Albert City schools are on a 2-hour delay. Athens Bible School is closed all day today. Athens City School will be doing virtual learning. Athens State is open up at 11 a.m. Boaz City Schools are delayed 2 hours. Coleman County is delayed 1 hour. Decatur City Schools are closed all day today. We have Franklin County is closed Wednesday. Gaston State is closed. Gunnersville City Schools are closed. Huntsville City Schools are closed today. The Huntsville City Hall is not closed. It's delayed 2 hours.
You got to come on take care of your business.
Madison County schools are closed today. Madison City schools are closed as well. Muscle Shoals closed. Yeah. Scottsboro City Schools. Scottsboro City is only delayed 2 hours.
Right. So the way this weather was is coming, it was coming out of the shoals and coming this way, and it was moving pretty fast. So it just depends on how much accumulation that you're getting in your region on the decision on whether or not you're going to school or not. But for the safety of most of our kids that have to ride buses and things like that. Buses don't do good in this type of weather.
Oh.
Neither do cars. Okay. So just please slow it down. I know we got our snow people that I'm from the north. I could drive through this. This ain't nothing. This what you making a big deal of? No, there's people that are very nervous in driving through this type of weather.
And then the type of salt that they put on their grounds up north is not the same season of salt we put on our grounds down here.
Exactly. We down south. We got a little spice in ours.
We looking black in the day.
Was that black?
We're looking back in the day.
Back.
Well,
Back in the day, John Singleton, who was born on this date in 1992, became the first African-American director to be nominated for an Academy Award, which he was nominated for Best Director and Best Screenplay for the film Boys in the Hood. That's Black in the Day. On this date, back in the day, it was 1878. Where were you? Thomas Jefferson was granted a patent for his gramophone. That was the precursor for the phonograph, the record player, and the turntable. That means that you're doing all of that on a gramophone. All right. The first American Music Awards took place on this date in 1974. It was 1982 that Stevie Wonder released the single, Do I Do What You Do When I Do. All right, stop it. All right, 1983, James Ingram and Patti LaBelle hit #1 with Baby Come to Me. And Vanessa Flowers became the first African-American woman to win a gold medal at the Winter Olympics. She won for the two-person bobsled. Celebrities celebrating birthdays and famous people, too.
Smokey Robinson, legendary singer, songwriter, producer, Motown record executive, founder, and frontman of the group The Miracles, one of the architects of the Motown sound, rock and roll Hall of Famer, with hits like The Tears of a Clown and Oh Baby Baby, to solo hits like A Quiet Storm, Cruising, Being With You, and more. Happy birthday, Smokey Robinson. Also, we have Grammy Award-winning hitmaker who gave us tracks like Crazy and Kiss from a Rose. Seal actually became a Seal on the 59th annual Super Bowl. And we have model and reality show star Cynthia Bailey. She was a longtime cast member of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and commissioner of the National Football League. Roger Goodell is celebrating his birthday today. Find more celebrity birthdays on our Facebook page at 94.1 WHRP.
And it is National Chocolate Mint Day. Where my Girl Scouts at? All right, to taste some good mix of mint and chocolate. All right, that's Black in the Day, back in the day. Tony in the morning on 94.1 WHRP.
Thank you for starting your morning with us. Tony in the morning on 94.1 WHRP.
Let's be honest, the Tennessee Valley isn't getting any smaller. People are moving here from the north, the south, the east, and the west. And if you're like me and you're looking for a new home, look no further than James Stallworth at Stallworth Real Estate. I'm currently looking for a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom home, and I love James Stallworth. Everything that his group has done for me so far, to the late phone calls, because sometimes we need it. Our regular work hours aren't everybody else's regular work hours. Let's just be honest. Our availability isn't the same as everybody else's availability. And if you're looking for a real estate agent that truly cares and that will work around your schedule and find you the home of your dreams, look no further than James Stallworth at Stallworth Real Estate. Stop by their office at 8840 Madison Boulevard, Suite 200D. Tell them DJ Primetime 256 sent you.
94.1. Big Pun, Joe doing that thing.
Boricua, bolera,
Not a player anymore. Not going to be a player no more.
That's how I passed my Spanish class.
Yeah?
Yeah, Boricua, bolera. Got me an A.
That is insulting.
A minus.
Tony in the morning, 94.1 WHRP, today's best variety of R&B. And yes, we are under a winter advisory with the snow and maybe a little bit of sleet in some areas. But at the end of the day, it's getting icy out there in some areas.
It is.
Higher elevated areas. You said you took 565.
I took 565.
And you know they're saying that 565 is like right now one of the worst to ride.
There were already people like sliding on the side of the road already.
Yeah.
4 o'clock in the morning. It was
You gotta
crazy.
slow down.
Yes, and then they had
So-
them big snowflakes when I was coming in. Oh, I put my hazards on. Hey,
Yeah.
I got a question. Okay, so a Honda Accord and a Nissan Altima. I just want to let you owners know those are not snow vehicles. Okay, flying past me.
Ooh,
I got
snitch.
a 4x4.
Oh, look at
with
you.
my hazards on.
Go ahead and tell it.
Driving slow.
Snitching. What
I'm-
color were those
I'm
vehicles?
cautious. Silver and gold. That's the thing.
What were the license plate numbers?
07 something.
Yeah, please slow down. There's people that just know how to roll in it, and they're not,
Yeah.
and they're not afraid of it, and things like that. Then you have a little old lady like myself, and I'm coming down, and I'm driving just a little slower than everybody else. Go on by me, young lady. Go on by me, young man. Go ahead.
Well, see, if you're a real good driver, you know that it's not about your skills.
Right.
It's about paying attention to everyone
I was
else.
on the road by myself, and I know my driving skills,
Right,
and I
right.
was slow rolling it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tony, the way I seen you drifting on the parking lot. Fast and Furious. Tony,
All right, it's
Tony
time,
drift.
hello, it's time for the good news in the neighborhood.
Good news in the neighborhood. Huntsville Symphony Orchestra presents a free family concert this Saturday at 11 a.m. at the BBC Concert Hall. If you haven't seen the Huntsville Symphony Orchestra, they are really dope. Take it from somebody that actually played violin.
Oh.
Yeah, I used to play violin.
Oh, you should still do that.
You know, I can hit a string or two, Tony.
Yeah.
Watch out. Oh, yeah. For this and other good news in the neighborhood, check out our Facebook page at 94.1 WHRP.
The Good News in the Neighborhood is sponsored by Alabama A&M. Learn more about Alabama A&M University by visiting aamu.edu today. Alabama A&M University. Start here, go anywhere.
P.
The Good News in the Neighborhood is sponsored by Alabama A&M. Learn more about Alabama A&M University by visiting aamu.edu today. Alabama A&M University. Start here, go anywhere.
Serve a purpose.
That's the only time we like orange. Okay, listen.
So that's the only time we like orange?
Yeah, unless you're eating one. All right, the Lauderdale County Emergency Management Agency says icy conditions are reported on Elk River Bridge and Wheeler Dam Highway. So keep that in mind. Depending on how far out you're traveling today or what your plans are, if you have to go in, just add a little extra time. You'll hear this all the time. It's just a quick reminder for those of you like, I got it. No, you might need that 15
especially
minutes.
Today. Especially today.
And especially if you work for you-know-who.
It's slick outside.
Y'all know you-know-who is, right?
Who's you-know-who?
The one that's got executive orders and eliminating jobs every time you turn around. That person. Yeah. So, but you were telling me off mic that Huntsville has a new noise ordinance.
Yeah, Huntsville has a new noise ordinance for all these loud vehicles out there.
Those kind of ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what they have is a $50 citation
Ooh.
for first-time offenders.
So doesn't have anything to do with playing your music loud.
Well, playing your music loud has always been out
Yeah.
there, but people are getting these modified pipes and these really loud
So
trucks.
back in the day, in the late 60s and 70s, and even in the early 80s, that was a thing. It was
Right.
like broom, broom, the bigger the better. Even if you had a little putt-putt and you had a broom, broom on
You had a vroom.
you was in the game,
Yeah.
So it looks like it's making a comeback.
But some of it's just loud pipes.
That's the fun part.
When your car has an engine in it and
Yeah.
you get that rumble and that roar, that's different.
Okay.
'Cause that's that engine.
The engine,
Some people are
the
getting that
engine
little-
can't help it's big and loud.
Right.
But the pipes,
But the pipes, like those right there.
Right.
Oh my God.
so you're trying to make those sound boom, 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 boom,
They're
boom,
trying
boom.
to, and it's
Right.
let me tell you, if you
Yeah.
have a V6 and you're trying to make it sound like a V8, it still sounds like a V6.
Oh,
It still does.
Okay.
It's just really loud.
I got you.
Yeah. So they're finding Tony, first time violation is $50.
Mm-hmm.
Second time violation within 12 months is $250.
Where do you think they made this this new law? Who's complaining about the loud pipes?
Oh, I'm not gonna say who he is. I know a guy.
You do?
Tony, when this news first broke,
right?
I know a guy who has a truck, and if he's listening, he know exactly who I'm talking about.
You know who we talking about.
If he cranks his truck up, especially in the cold, it gets that loud cold start, it'll wake the whole neighborhood up.
So, what about folks like myself who have these old little vintage cars, like an old Volkswagen that can't help it, but it's loud? You know, it just
now,
is.
So that's a good thing about
those little sewing machine engines. They are loud, like
the old V-Bugs.
Yes.
So those are good.
Okay.
Because it's factory that way.
All right. It is what it is.
What they're doing is the first violation is a fix-it ticket. So if you don't fix it, you got to pay the ticket. But if you do fix it, then they just throw it out in court.
Okay, so we're getting tickets for our engines or pipes, that are too loud. All right.
Yeah. Now don't be snitching on nobody if your car loud too, because they get me a ticket. I'm sending them right back.
So if
your
you're
way.
Downtown Huntsville and you're out having a cafe and a car passes by, and you take their license plate down. And
I hope they don't start doing that.
They're going to.
That's crazy.
Do you know how many people are in our business? Not just Karen and Ken.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. They got cousins too.
Mike be in everybody's business too.
Right. Giselda. Yeah.
Giselda up in everybody's business too.
Snitch.
Do you want the people's champ of fencing? Look no further than Fence One. Voted #1 fence contractor in North Alabama. They're the fence fanatics who handle everything from wood privacy fences to chain link, split rail, and even vinyl. Why? Because who doesn't love options? And don't worry about breaking the bank. They've got financing from 3 months to 8 years or 18 months at 0% interest. Yeah, they're fancy like that. So whether it's building, repairing, standing, or storing, Fence One guarantees the best prices and best quality. Don't believe them? Call for a free estimate at 256-735-3975. Visit fence1.net or email jordan.fence1@gmail.com.
The latest gossip headline.
Here she goes, up in everybody's business.
Tony's Tattletale.
Did you hear about what happened?
Tony's Tattletale.
Tony's Tattletale. Is any of this true?
Tony's Tattletale.
You know it's snowing. If Chilli says she might consider getting married. What? Chilli? What? She said Chilli, who's been against marriage for all of her life so far, but since she read the Bible, she's got a different take on marriage. And so she's considering possibly marrying her boo, who she's been dating since 2022. Ooh. See what I did? Kind of rhyme right there.
Bars.
Yeah.
Bars.
Hey. All right. Here's something that you probably didn't know that Will Smith is now talking about, that he actually had a conversation, that is, all right, with Biggie just hours before his untimely death.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Will Smith is talking about that it was about 4 hours before Biggie was shot and killed that they had a conversation.
Wow.
It doesn't get weird there. It gets weird here.
How does it get weird?
Because he also had a little encounter and convo with Prince 8 hours before his passing. Sounds like a jinx.
So you're saying don't talk to Will Smith?
I'm just saying now I know why. Well, let's just say Chris Rock don't want to talk to Will Smith.
Touche.
Jinx. All right, it's not the words what I heard. It's just tattletales.
Now you're in the know about other people's business. From Tony's Tattletale on 94.1 WHRP.
Mario, keep going. 94.1 WHRP. Tony in the morning. I'm DJ Primetime 256. Don't forget the 256. And Tony, with everything going on with flights and airplanes and all that great stuff going on, I think now is not the time to start cutting people.
Ooh.
Especially when it comes to anything having to do with flights. And Southwest Airlines is looking at cutting 15% of their corporate jobs to save money.
Now, are they talking about people behind the desk or people who are dealing with flights directly?
They're talking about people across the board.
Oh, no.
Yeah, corporate jobs as well as the people behind the desk and the people on the front line. The Southwest says that this is their largest scale layoff in 53 years.
Oh, boy.
However, they will save $210 million.
That means they're going to start charging us more.
They are.
Yeah.
And you know what they're going to start charging us more for? Legroom.
Did you see this airline? Now, I don't know what airline this was, but it was like a double-decker seating situation.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, we're not doing that.
The ones with the beds on it?
No, the ones where there's a seat above you and below, almost like stadium seating on a plane.
Oh, no.
In other words, if I wanted to, I could just put my feet on your head.
Oh, no.
Like it was stacked like that. Exactly.
No.
Like they're just trying to cram us in,
I would-
charge us more. Are you kidding me?
Right. And they're going to charge us more. So, Southwest doesn't have assigned seating.
Listen, I hadn't flown Southwest in a long time, and I did last summer when I was in California, and I forgot about that. And I'm like,
I can sit anywhere I want.
This is not working for me. But you have to get there early so you can get on board first to pick your seat.
Get in the zone.
And I was in the right spot. I did like that online boarding check-in or whatever.
Check in
so that
early.
allowed me to be one of the first to pick my seat. But still,
Not anymore.
Really?
Now you got to pay. You're going to have to pay for the assigned seating.
No!
So I don't understand that they cut costs or cut people to save money. They save millions upon millions of dollars and then charge the consumer more so they can make more money.
Right. It's a whole monopoly game.
Yeah.
Game of life. I'm going to start doing all the board game games here. Those games are teaching you about how we're living in this country.
Literally. I'm so confused.
I'm broke.
The Rocket City's first choice for today's best variety of R&B. 94.1 WHRP.
Gentlemen, prom season's here and it's time to dress to impress. On Time Fashion's got you covered with their exclusive 15% off special on men's blazers, suits, tuxedos, and shoes. Whether you're going for that classic elegance or a modern twist, everything is in stock and ready for that big night. Come on to On Time Fashion. They'll help you step up your game and make a statement that won't be forgotten. Visit On Time Fashion today in Tuscaloosa or Huntsville and get ready to shine on that prom night. Don't forget to check out their website at ontimettown.com. Tell them DJ Primetime 256 sent you.
94.1 WHRP is celebrating Black History Month.
The art of resistance.
Here's O.C. Maddox Jr.
This is the place where history meets the present. On today's broadcast, I want to revisit a speech that shaped America's path to justice. Frederick Douglass's What the Black Man Wants was delivered in 1865 after the Civil War. In that speech, Douglass made it crystal clear that emancipation was only the first step. He also made it known that true freedom required justice, rights, and economic independence. Now, here are 3 powerful points from that speech. I love the body of all of this. Number 1, he stated that what I ask for the Negro is not benevolence, not pity, not sympathy, but simply justice. Notice that Douglass wasn't asking for handouts. He was demanding equal rights under the law. Number 2, he said that the ballot is the only safety. Douglass comes back and he stressed that political power was the key to protecting freedom and also securing the future. Why? Because a lot of people would go into fan-based voting, in which we see today, and we stress that a lot here on Black History Facts. That fan-based voting means that you are a citizen of liberty and independence, which brings up number 3. He said that no man can truly be free whose liberty is dependent upon the will of another. Without economic and social self-sufficiency, our freedom at that time was fragile. We're watching even democracy as it appears to be bought by others in this country today. But anywho, you can go ahead and read the full speech at the Library of Congress online, or you can go to the Frederick Douglass Papers Project, which is also online. Douglass's call for economic independence, it became a reality in the late 19th and early 20th centuries because Black Americans acquired over 70 million acres of land. Can you believe that? 70 million acres of land. We bought up old abandoned towns from our white counterparts, and we also built towns, farms, and thriving communities. But through discriminatory policies like the Black Codes, and which would also introduce us to Jim Crow laws, economic sabotage, and forced migration, much of that land was lost or abandoned. But in today's movement, we are watching many reclaim Black-owned land, and it's growing. So learning from history, Black Americans will continue to seek ownership and self-sufficiency. I want you to stay tuned because this Black history story is not over. I'm going to present a more detailed initiative in the near future. I'm O.C. Maddox Jr. for Black History Facts. And until next time, stay informed, stay inspired, and keep on making history.
Happy Black History Month from 94.1 WHRP. Black history is your history worldwide, and we're celebrating all month long on 94.1 WHRP.
94.1 WHRP, Chris Brown, DeVito, and Lil J. It's called Sensational. Tony in the morning, 94.1 WHRP, and of course Wednesday, Hump Day with a snow day around North Alabama. And,
Hump Day, snow day.
It's a Hump Day. You know, it's really an icy cold day in Texas. Did you see that weather?
No, what happened in Texas?
Oh, it's so cold. They're like under a winter chill cold warning.
Wow.
Yeah, so some of that was blowing this way, and they're saying our temps tomorrow will be really, really cold. So warming stations are open for people who are displaced.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And, so that's good news, and they'll probably do much the same tomorrow. But the convo about Mexico and America, right, in regards to the Gulf of Mexico being renamed to the Gulf of America. Now, Your Orangeness did this and renamed, I'm going to rename it the Gulf of America. Now, okay, so he does this thing, right? But there is some measurements here on what side of the body as what,
right?
So he renamed what is the side of America in the Gulf of America.
Right.
Now, the folks in Mexico, they're threatening to sue Google because they changed the whole Gulf
to
America, and that's not correct. So they got their measuring tape out.
Hold on. Technically, you only own half of this Gulf.
Exactly. And so what they say what Google is doing is changing the name of the continental shelf of Mexico and Cuba. And that has nothing to do with what the orange guy did with his decree, and that it only applied to the U.S. continental shelf. So he had the right to change that space, that part of the body of water that was part of America. But you can't change the whole Gulf.
Can't change the whole thing. Can't change the whole thing.
And that's what Google did, and they want that map changed.
Yeah. Mexico president's like, hey, hold on, Google. You don't want no problems with this. Just change your map. Change your map.
President Scheinbaum is like, I ain't playing with you. You know? Yeah, that orange man can do what he want over there. But over here, nah, it's not going to happen. So good for them. Fight for your right. Fight for your space. Fight for your part of the water in the Gulf. 94.1 WHRP, today's best variety of R&B. Tony in the morning and DJ Primetime 256. You know what day it is? It's Wednesday. Wednesday, Hump Day, and not just any Wednesday, but Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Whitney West. Good morning, Doctor.
Morning, Dr. West.
Good morning.
How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
You know, it's always a good start when our doctors are feeling good. Right? And today we are going to talk about nutrition in women's health. Some of the foods that support hormonal health, nutritional deficiencies in women, and the impact of a poor diet. Doctor, don't talk about me. But let's get into it. Tell us a little something about that.
You know, we talked a few months ago about different types of diets and weight loss and stuff like that. But for women in particular, there are certain foods that will assist because, you know, we go through different transitions in our life, right? So as we talk about women transitioning into menopause, there are hormonal changes that happen, and our risk for other conditions will increase as we age. If our diet is off or challenged, I usually say challenged, because we're eating foods that are less nutritious, then we'll have deficiencies. So we'll get diabetes, obesity, hypertension, in addition to having significant issues with our menopausal state or our transition into menopause, as well as other things like heart disease and our transition into menopause is more difficult because of what's going on nutritionally with us. So the things that I like to talk about with my patients are, a lot of our chronic conditions that we're dealing with are based off of chronic inflammation. And that's because we are missing certain nutrients. One in particular is omega-3 fatty acids. So that's fish oil. So people will see it as fish oil. We get that from different sources, including, fish like salmon, sardines, herring, that kind of thing, flaxseed, walnuts, and omega-3 plays a large part in our heart health and in our hormonal health and in our anti-inflammatory, quest to try to reduce some of our chronic conditions.
Can you get the omega-3 through vitamins? Because, you mentioned the food sources, and sometimes people don't necessarily like some of the things you mentioned. So what's another way of getting that?
Right, so there's supplements, right? So, we always want to try to get the whole food, get it from whole foods, because it's better absorbed that way. But if you don't like, say, fish, or you can't tolerate, you're allergic to even nuts and stuff like that, then you can get a supplement. And, you probably want to get about 2,000 milligrams. That's, two kind of big, look like horse pills, but about 2,000 milligrams per day.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Wow. All right. Okay.
Right. Now, if you have other conditions, like let's say you have high cholesterol, then you really want to take more of that. So like up to 4 grams a day. But just your basic. Go ahead.
Is this something that should be prescribed by your doctor, or is this something that you can handle over the counter?
You can handle that over the counter, but if you want to discuss your nutrition with your physician, that should be obviously an open option for you to do that. But you can get this supplement over the counter.
It is Wellness Wednesday, and we're talking with Dr. Whitney West about roles of nutrition in women's health. And I hear some of the things that you're talking about. Excuse me. Does this same health facts as far as the nutrition, does it affect men as well with poor diets?
Absolutely. Men are obese. Men have hypertension. They have heart disease. And diabetes, they have all those things. So a lot of the same things that we're going to talk about today will also apply to men as well. So we're looking at, changing our nutrition, because a lot of the foods that we are eating, let's say from fast food or restaurants, are little nutrition in them at all, if any. There's some fast food restaurants, the food actually isn't food. It's not coming from an animal or from a vegetable. Wow. It's made from other sources.
Wow.
So when you eat that food, it gets incorporated into your system, and then your body doesn't know what to do with things like artificial sweeteners and all the chemicals that come in the boxed foods, and you got to be careful with canned foods because there's a lot of salt in there. So just changing your diet, just small things, like I said this before, making small changes consistently will help you maintain that. So a lifestyle modification is what I call it. So different changes like adding whole grains and all different kind of vegetables of different colors, beans, legumes, that kind of thing. So you need to add like the whole food. Now the downside or the caveat to all of that is some of our food is nutritionally deficient, because the soil is bad. So the vegetables are growing in the soil that doesn't have all the minerals in it. So you may be eating the vegetables, but you're not necessarily getting all of that. And that's sometimes when we have to, use supplementation.
So basically, we just need to eat air, doctor. At the end of the day, it's like, okay. Talking to Dr. Whitney West, it is Wellness Wednesday, and we are talking about the role of nutrition in women's health, foods that support hormonal health as well as nutritional deficiencies in women, and the impact of a poor diet. And many of us are guilty of that because it's fast and easy to go through a drive-through or pick up something already prepared that looks delicious, and all the different snacks that we like to indulge in. And that said, you were talking about eating the whole food. And one thing that came to mind was she's absolutely right, because if I pick up an apple, I don't see ingredients on there. But if I pick up a freeze-dried apple, then I'm going to look at the bag, and there's a whole bunch of different ingredients. And so that's taken away from the nutrients of the food. However, now you're saying we don't have enough nutrients in the soil and everything, so maybe we just need to grow our own stuff?
Well, that's a notion, right? It's more than a notion to decide to do that. Because I've been trying to grow something in my backyard for a long time, and it hasn't happened.
The soil, doctor, the soil. Right. Yeah, so it does say a lot. And then we've got a lot of local farms here in our particular area that might be an idea of how to get better fruits and vegetables, to get it from the farm to the table, so to speak. And, you know, I don't know. It just seems like we all have to kind of rethink how we eat.
Absolutely. So, and it starts here, right? So your relationship with food is an issue. Most people, not you in particular, but most people have this idea that it's supposed to make you feel good, right? And so macaroni and cheese is so creamy and warm, and that kind of thing. But if you eat that every day, then you're going to have long-term consequences. So we need to, eat to live, not live to eat.
Well, what I do with my macaroni and cheese, I put a little broccoli in the middle.
Huh?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Well, that's another conversation.
Oh.
All right.
Put mine in the oven.
Put some broccoli in there. That takes the guilt off of me. I have some vegetables. I'm just saying. All right. Dr. Whitney West, thank you for these tips and wonderful ideas on how to change our poor diets into better diets for a healthier future for all of us. Tell us the best way to get in contact with you.
My website is www.mdpc.com.
What are your parting words?
Empower Wellness. It's a journey, not a destination.
Tim's burning 94.1 WHRP. Tony in the morning. I'm DJ Primetime 256. It is cold here.
Yeah.
But it is hot and a lot of vacation spots.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, I think some people just don't know how to act when it gets warm outside, or they're just a little crazy. So I was reading this story the other day, Tony, and there was a lady in Turks and Caicos.
Oh, it's always nice and warm
She
there.
goes into the beach, and she sees a little fish out there, big one, also known as a shark.
Oh,
right?
She went in the water knowing it was a shark?
And instead of leaving the water, she decides to, play with the shark and take a selfie.
No.
With the shark.
And that's a no for me.
It's a no for me, too.
If I'm in the ocean and I'm swimming, and I do like to swim in the ocean, and I happen to see a shark, I'm going to respect the shark. And I'm going to move out the shark's way as fast as I can. Before the shark comes up to me and says, "Yo, what you doing?"
Because that's their natural habitat.
Yeah.
You're not going to move.
Like, I like to scuba. I like to scuba dive and do all those type of things.
And this is a little known fact. Little known fact is, a lot of people don't realize or know that sharks don't have social media accounts, so they can't follow back.
Yeah.
They can't follow back.
Yeah, that's true.
So as she proceeded to put her hands in the ocean to take a picture of the shark, the shark bit off both her hands.
No.
True story.
No.
So
you know what?
What?
So I like to fish, and we put a little something on the hook.
Right.
And we put it in the water, hoping that the fish bites it. Right. I'm thinking the shark probably thought it was bait.
Right.
Had a little something in your hand, and probably used to seeing those little, nuggets of goodies that people have. What? I'm just trying to figure it out.
I just don't. So in the South, a lot of people go noodling.
Yes.
Right? When you put your hand in the hole and the catfish.
I'm not doing that either.
I'm not doing that either.
No.
But watching that, and then imagine a shark having, 3 or 4 rows of teeth?
So they do. And so she was just very comfortable. I guess when she was in the water, the shark didn't attack, so she thought she was in a good spot, and I can take a selfie.
I can take a selfie. And the local authorities said that she was in there playing with the shark before the shark attacked.
So she brought it on herself.
Yeah. Just because you watch several movies or National Geographic doesn't mean that you got it.
They're not going to be your friend. They're not going to be your pet. You can't put those on a leash.
At all.
What?
Or take a selfie with them.
It's your best girlfriend, Tony Terrell, and you can stream us live every single day at WHRPFM.com. Check in now and catch up with Tony in the morning, weekdays from 6 to 10 at WHRPFM.com. Just click the purple button. 94.1 WHRP, Tony in the morning, and of course later this afternoon, DL Hughley rolling with you, and of course he'll get you up to speed on all the crazy shenanigans coming from Capitol Hill. Woo! They might as well go ahead and paint the building orange for 4 years.
Until further notice.
Until further notice. I like that. So A$AP Rocky, who was facing 24 years in prison for shooting a former childhood friend, got off yesterday at the assault trial. Of course, his boo thing, Rihanna, mother of his kids, was there. Girlfriend, and they say she was sobbing, probably a sigh of relief, you would think.
Oh yeah, definitely,
because you're thinking, I ain't trying to raise these kids by myself. Got 2 boys over here. Oh my goodness,
why you do this?
I like thugs, but this is ridiculous. Yeah. So nonetheless, the court reportedly erupted in cheers as the verdict on the first count was read. A$AP Rocky, of course, celebrated by jumping up and down, hugging people, and saying, "Thank you for saving my life." Now, put the weapons down, sir.
Yeah, you learned your lesson. Everybody doesn't get a second chance.
He's not going to get one. If something like this again occurs, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
And no pun intended.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. You're going to be rapping behind bars because you got bars.
Look at you. You almost got you a hit.
Watch out. Watch out. So a new scam is going around because everybody is getting their income taxes. So the scammers already know. They know. And what they're doing is if you've been on vacation or traveled recently, whether you traveled or not or went through a toll or not, they're sending toll texts and saying, hey.
Oh, on your phone.
On your phone. And they're saying, hey, you've been through this toll. Send us money now.
No, that's
Click
fake.
this link.
That's fake. Because
click this link.
I've gotten a ticket for a toll. I didn't even know I was on a toll bridge. I was traveling across the states. And I'm like, when did I cross that? I don't even remember, And so, yeah, they send it to you in the mail.
Right.
And I'm like, what is this from XYZ state? I'm like, what? I open it up. I'm like, let me go on.
That ain't me.
No, it was. I had to go ahead and pay it. But it came in the mail. It didn't come on my phone.
They didn't send you a text message?
No.
And that's what they're encouraging people not to do. The tolling companies are saying that they don't send texts or emails asking for personal information and to never click the link in the text or the email.
And here's the other thing. At the toll bridges, they take a picture of your license plate.
They do.
And you'll get that information in your mailbox.
You're going to be like, yep, that's my head right there. That's me.
Right.
94.1 WHRP. Click the purple button at WHRPFM.com and listen live.
True Love, Jay Brown, 94.1 WHRP. Tony in the morning. I'm DJ Primetime 256. Don't forget the 256. And now it's time for your motivation and inspiration.
I saw this quote and I thought, this is really good. Especially, it's so dated, by Benjamin Franklin. Okay? But it's really, really a good quote that is inspiring. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Ooh. Wow. So, what do you know? All right? An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. That is your motivation and inspiration. Get you some knowledge, y'all. 94.1 WHRP.